What is up, Gorilla Nation, and welcome back to another Division 2 Vendor Reset Mendoza Black Market Vendor, I should say, video. It is currently April the 22nd. Typically where I find the snitch, Truman Safe House is right there. If you come out the west side of it and proceed up this hill, there's an orange crate in the front yard of this building, and there's an outcast box here. Just take this left down the driveway. And 99.9% of the time, this is where I find the snitch, as you see here. Now, common question is what other places do I typically find the snitch? If I don't see him here, then I'll fast travel to the Lincoln Memorial, and there's a tree approximately somewhere in this area that he could be standing beside. Excuse me, heartburn. Also, there's some bushes over here in this area where the little hotel thing is. And the trees, you can find him in between there. There's a canopy back here behind the Lincoln Memorial that he typically stands behind. And also you can find him all the way down here underneath the bridge, right next to the taxi graveyard. So, and typically in those areas are where I always find him at. So you just want to walk up to him, accept the bounty. You don't have to do it. He'll reveal the location of Mendoza by putting a little white shopping cart on the map. And then you just scour the map and looking for that shopping cart to find out where she's at. And as you can see, she is right there. So I'll see you guys and gals when we get there. Next we have the Forge Rnk Holster. And for one piece, you get that 15% incoming repairs. And it has the 10% max you can get on shield health. And the only piece you can get this 10% shield health on. And it has 9.7% critical hit damage. So if you want to do like a shield crit or want to throw armor regen on here or just skill haste, then definitely come by and pick this up. Moving on, we have a striker backpack. Only 4.8% weapon damage, but it has almost a perfect roll of status effect with 9.9%. So if you just even need like a roll to like go with an ongoing directive build or things of that nature, then you could at least come by and pick this up for the status effect roll and put it into your recal library. Moving on, Negotiator's Dilemma chest piece, 9.8 weapon damage, 6% skill damage. Next we have the Ongoing Directive gloves, 9.8% weapon damage and 3546 armor regen. Moving on, we have Ongoing Directive knee pads, 10.4% weapon damage and 15,342 health. Next we have Tip of the Spear holster, 10.3% weapon damage with 8.8% hazard protection. A hardwired mask, +1 skill tier, and 14,839 health. An infantry MG5 with a ranger, LMG damage to targets out of cover, and then of course 6.5% health damage. Now health damage is not obsolete. Typically you find it on the core attributes of ARs, and if you don't know, it is multiplicative, and it works well against like the black tusk dogs or the warhounds, even the chonklas or the big boomers. Anything basically that is an elite that doesn't have, let's say, an armor bar, but they just have a yellow bar of health and more or less armor combined, then the health damage is multiplicative toward those things. So it's more situational, but it definitely comes in handy in those situations. Next we have the new, more or less, M1A, before the nerf of the M1A today or last night. You see that the total base damage is more along the lines of what the M1A was. This one has 11% rifle damage, 8% critical hit damage, 10.4% stability, a little bit less RPM than the M1A had, and only 5 in the magazine. But you would want boomerang on it, and of course, better stat rolls, and you can still achieve, around 500k base damage, one tap with a boomerang rifle build, of course, with perfect glass cannon and PvP, and you can still hit just as hard as you used to with the M1A, just with a little slightly less magazine size and of course a little bit less RPM, but along the same damage lines of what the M1A used to be. Next we have Reilly Holdings gloves, 11.5% weapon damage and 5.5% explosive resistance with 9% skill haste. Next we have Alps holster with +1 skill tier, 7.2% headshot damage, 3875 armor regen, And then finally wrapping it up, we have a chem mod with +1 ammo. As I always say, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and it is better than the regular and clan vendor was because, let's just face it, at least there was not, 5 or 6 purples out of, say, the 8 items that she actually has. So there are actually some items in there that could be interesting, or placeholders for your particular build until you find a better piece that you're actually looking for. So everything is not useless, or I would say worthless, but maybe not exactly worthwhile. But come check them out if you actually need them or can just use them. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate all the love and support. And don't forget to smash that like button, sub if you happen to be new, and share it as well. But we'll see you fudging later.